Hello there everybody, this is Lynn from Big World Small Feet. Today I'm here to review and try for the first time the GSI Outdoors Halulite Microdualist 2 complete cook set. So you can get this for $70 at REI, something similar at your local hiking store. REI is where I got it because I'm a member. Shout out to REI, they do really great discounts and bundles. So it's $30 a year for membership, and it is a very good investment. So I do recommend that you try that out if you're looking for something to invest in. So now I'm just out here in my back garden and we're going to review the gear that we've got. Today I'm going to be reconstituting some Backpackers Pantry green curry, and I also have some Mount Hoggins instant coffee that I'm going to be bringing out. Now, as far as instant coffee goes, I like a good cup of coffee on the trail. Nothing beats a nice cup of joe in the morning, but also you have to make sure that you keep your weight down. That being said, I'll typically take some Ziploc bags and I'll just dump like Maxwell House or Taster's Choice by Nestle is my preferred go-to. Cheap instant coffee, and the frogs agree with me that you just have to kind of figure out what you want to do. And of course, if you have a lot of instant packet sachets, eventually that's going to build up, and that's more that you have to pack out if you're a backpacker or a thru hiker, which is what I'm preparing to do in a few years. But more on that later. Today we're focusing on the review. So what we've got is we've got a nice little 2-in-1 multi-purpose here. What this is not only is it a pouch to hold everything in, but it is also a fairly sturdy portable sink. So you can pour out some water after you've filtered it using your water system, and you can use this to wash your dishes in. And then it is very quick to dry. If you look at the inside, it's a very straightforward build, very durable material, and it'll last you pretty long as you don't put too much wear and tear on it. So we're going to set that to the side for now. Now what we've got in here is we've got a flip top handle, and this thing is very sturdy. Like, it's not going to move on you at all, which is what you're going to want for on the trail. The lid that we have actually has a built-in strainer, so if you're cooking pasta or noodles or whatever and you want to strain that water off, you can do so. This locks right onto the top. Well, actually it doesn't lock, but you can hold it very easily, and as long as you hold in that little area there, you're not going to burn yourself. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll actually strain the water through it into my Backpacker's Pantry. Inside of the mess kit, you'll notice that there's lines on it on the outside and on the inside that you can use to measure off the amount of water that you need, which is very handy. You don't need to bring extra measuring cups with you. It comes with 2 carafes that also have measuring amounts on them. Very hard to see on video, I would imagine, but if I disassemble one of these, I should be able to show you kind of what I mean. So as you see there, you've got some measuring lines that you can use to measure up to 12 fluid ounces in this jobby, which I'm going to use for my coffee. This one will be for the main event. And then even if you don't put this back on, this is still very insulated. So you're going to be able to hold on to this without burning yourself. Now, if we disassemble further, and yes, you can take that part off. You might need a stick or something the first time you pry it out, but this lid has ventilation to let excess steam off, and each one of these cups is also going to come with portable spork, which is what we're going to be using for the main event. So I'm just going to go ahead and get out my camp stove here, which I use Coleman fuel, and I use a Coleman Peak Performance camp stove. It's like $20–30, I think. I've used this thing on pretty much every trip I've gone on. It's very reliable. It's what I'm going to be using when I hike Kilimanjaro. It's what I'm going to be using when I hike the Appalachian Trail. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure out 1.5 cups, or 360 ml of water, and it comes in cups and milliliter here. And then I'm going to get that boiling, at which point I will come back and show you how things are going along. Okay, and that water is bubbling. I personally never get it to a rolling boil. As soon as I see bubbles, that's hot enough. It's going to get the job done. I'm going to put this lid on top. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to get this bad boy out of the way. Remember, you always grab by the fuel can. Do not grab even the red part. You're going to burn yourself if you do that. So holding on to the, just touching the lid itself. The lid's a little warm, but I feel confident with that. So let's go ahead and strain our water through. As you see, there's very minimal leakage. And of course, it's a little lopsided, so I'm going to take the lid off to reconstitute. Okay, so I have just poured myself my cup of coffee. This thing does not feel like it changed temperature at all. Like, even touching the bottom, it's a little hot, but like holding it around the thermal rest, I could have fully boiled the water, put this in here, and just to confirm with facial expressions, it is indeed hot. It is indeed hot coffee, but it holds up very well. So let's go ahead and get ready to shut this down, tighten that up. My curry is almost done stewing, so then I will be testing the durability of the spoon. But the nice thing about this, like I said, it's a sink, so the rest of that hot water is going to go in there. And then if I were on the trail, I would just grab, you know, whatever small dish detergent bottle that I'm using, or a soap tablet that I'm using, pop one of those in there, and then I can just take that off, stir it around, let it stew until I'm done eating my stew. Which, that being said, we've got just a couple more short moments, and then it will be time for the main event. And just to further show you guys the resilience of this lid when I put the lid on, here's where the spout is. It doesn't spill anywhere except from the spout. So you're not going to get your morning coffee all over you when you're on the trail, drinking out of your bowl cup. So there's that. Now the curry has another minute, and then I'm going to scoop it into this bowl. We're going to test the resilience of the spoon. I'm going to try holding it just like this, and I'm going to try holding it with my thumb bracing it as well, and we'll see how far that gets us. Okay, so I've taken the liberty of pouring things into the bowl. Let's try holding the spoon at the end very daintily. Wow, I got a big old gob of stuff on that, and it's resilient. And like that. So it doesn't matter which way you hold this thing. It's a very sturdy spoon. And then, once again, it's a very simple process. Once you wash it off, you just flick it and fold it. And then that fits right back in the cup. The cups stack right back on top of each other. You rinse out your sink, let it air dry for a half hour, and then you can stack everything back in, flip it back up, put it in, seal it off, throw it back in your backpack. So all in all, I would say I am very content with this thing. This is probably the closest thing to feeling like a kitchen dining set I personally have ever had on the trail. So I'm very excited to trail test it. Obviously, it's a different story, you know, being in my backyard, not using my water system, not using the soap on the trail, and then rinsing it into the rocks. But still, I feel very confident with this. I think this thing is going to hold up very well. I can already tell just by looking at the residue. Things adheres to the side of the bowl for an easy clean very quickly. There's no like cracks between items that you're going to have to really worry about, except maybe here. You just have to be cautious you don't get gunk there. But as long as you're just using this to boil something, you should be okay. Now, I would also imagine, because this is stainless steel, you would be fine with cooking your pasta in this, obviously, hence the strainer lid. So, all in all, I give that a perfect 10 stars. It'll maybe change when I take it out on the trail, but for 70 bucks, you get enough equipment to easily service 2 people. Or more, of course, if you're washing, rinsing, sharing, or if they bring their own mess kits. Or for 1 person to have a hot drink and your dinner at the same time. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I am Big World Small Feet's founder, Lynn, and I will see you on the next hike.